welcome you. I'm Ellie Pinion, co-coordinator of the VWEC. I'm joined by Val Librarian, my co-coordinator, and Marie Vance, our event team lead. It's a pleasure to be here today. We would also like to thank Linden Labs, Builders Brewery, and Gentle Heron for their active support to make this all happen. Marie brought her vision of the Student Challenge to us in January of 2023 after doing a similar real-life event at her university with great success. We thought it was a great idea, and here we are. We would like to thank you for your interest in our second VWEC Second Life Student Challenge, Serious Simulations in the Metaverse. Our first challenge was much more than we ever expected, and we truly believe it supported learning for the students that participated in it. Similar to a programming challenge, you might have heard of it as a hackathon. In real life, we hope this building challenge will give instructors one more virtual world tool to engage your students with your content. Programming challenges are a popular way to quickly create content and applications in the fast-paced world of technology innovation. These events are typically run through academic institutions or high-visibility technology companies like Google and Meta. They usually run between 36 hours and a week, with most around 36 to 48 continuous hours. The final product of these challenges are typically prototypes that the students or companies can use as proof of concept, which may be taken up for fleshing out later on. VWEC was approached to sponsor such a challenge, but instead of being a continuous number of hours, ours will run for 2.5 months this spring, which should allow students who might be new to Second Life enough time to gain proficiency with the Second Life interface, building, and scripting. The event will be open-ended enough to let instructors fit it into their content, but includes some rules and a rubric that Val will share with you in just a few minutes. We want it to inform your students with best practices for building and teaching in Second Life. The challenge officially begins tomorrow, February 11. We have goals and prizes, we're excited to say. And we have judges selected for their individual expertise and awards. Awards and prizes will be based on points using the rubric, so keep that in mind. Prizes have been generously donated by New Media Award Arts and include these. I'm just going to let you guys read them, and you also see them on this slide. We will be providing personalized team t-shirts for all teams as you get the team names to us, and we have them on today. We're using red this year. As you look around, there will soon be parcels allocated to the individual teams. While we won't be giving out spaces today, we encourage you to look around the region and start thinking about a design and maybe where you'd like to have your space. Now, I will turn it over to Marie.
Okay, so it might help to have my voice on. Thank you, Ellie. So I'm going to give you some information on the logistics of the challenge. Just get here so I can see the slides. Today we're going to kick it off, and hopefully we'll start getting teams formed. These teams will be designing and implementing an educational exhibit of their choice while following a rubric, which we have given and will give to the instructors, but they're also available in the resource center here. We also have learning events scheduled throughout the challenge, starting with a Builders Brewery course here on the Student Challenge region next Saturday on February 17th at 9 a.m. Second Life time. This will be followed by an hour for Q&A for the students who attend. Then 2 weeks later, we will feature Gentle Heron, who will present on how to make the exhibits accessible in Second Life. I strongly encourage either to attend or watch the video made of this event, as one of the criteria on the rubric is accessibility. And finally, Builders Brewery will be back on March 9th at 9 a.m. SLT for an intermediate building course and 1 hour for students at 10 a.m. These courses were pretty popular last time, and we got some feedback that they were very helpful, especially for students who were first coming into Second Life. And then the final, oops, I guess I obviously didn't change that. They will be due the 24th, which is it's a Thursday, or the Wednesday before the final. So we have time for the judges to come in and take a look at them. Okay, so the closing event will consist of student presentations at their exhibit for qualified judge. The judges will be provided with a rubric, and they will rate each presentation and exhibit based on that rubric. Once all the exhibits and presentations have been graded, awards will be given out based on those ratings. The ceremony will immediately follow the presentations on the Saturday after that. So we will be sending out a reminder prior to May 31st as well, because that's when the exhibits will be taken down. And because we really want a month afterwards for the community to come and take a look at these wonderful exhibits. Okay, so a note about the rules of engagement that apply during the course of the challenge and until the exhibits are taken down. Displays should not be commercial. These are for educational purposes only. Tip jars or soliciting donations are not allowed for that reason. There's no nudity or artistic or otherwise allowed. No copyright or trademark infringements. No display of hate-oriented content. No destruction of anybody else's content or exhibits. And make sure to let Ellie, myself, or Val know if you see any of these rules being broken, and if they're verified, they will be disqualified. Come on. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to present here is on the building parameters, which may change depending on the number of students that we have. But for now, the parcel footprint will be 32 by 32, but it could go up. And the maximum prim count is 500. This really worked well for us last time we did this, so it would probably stay there. And many of the exhibits didn't make it up to that, so that was good. The region for this challenge itself has been donated by Linden's Lab, and for that we're really grateful. And we would not actually be able to offer this experience without their support. So this entire region is dedicated to the student challenge and has other features in addition to the actual spaces for the student builds. Where we are right now is a central resources parcel that contains some resources. Actually, there's some videos of the last challenges winners, so students can see what constitutes a great exhibit. And then also there are some other resources that in this robot looking thing that you can get a list of landmarks for students to go visit for established educational bills that they can learn from. There is also a panic button that allows students and instructors to reach out with questions either on our dedicated Discord channel or by IMing one of us in World. There is a separate parcel for Builders Brewery and the accessibility live instructional events. There's also a calendar out there of Builders Brewery courses that are free to sign up for and take outside of this student challenge. And I encourage people, if you can't make those, to do them. They're very, very good, and they're very helpful in getting up and running quickly. You might even consider taking some of those courses to enhance your own building skills. Again, we're here to help, and please feel free to reach out with any questions you have. As I tell my own students, there is no such thing as a dumb question, and if someone has a question, other people have it as well. So please don't. So please have students or instructors can ask any questions they want. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Val now.
Okay, hello everybody. I'm Val, and I'm going to share some of the instructions for you. So I'm first going to drop you a folder so that you'll have note cards available with the information in Second Life should you want to access it that way. So let me drop you all this folder. And in this folder, it's in your inventory, the folder will be labeled with some @ signs, so it's easy to find in my inventory. VWEC Student Challenge Note Cards 2024. There have been a little bit of changes. We learned so much from our fall student challenge. We've made a few changes just to make it even better. So first thing I want to do is go over the rubric for what needs to be included in your student build. I'm actually going to walk over by it so you can see that it's right here at our landing point here. And it's right here on this near the stage, and it's with a spotlight, and it's also in a Google document. So feel free to look at that Google document. You can find it there, but you can also look at me over here. Here's the rubric. And I'm going to go through what the rubric is all about and what a little bit of tweaking that we did from the Fall Student Challenge, because we got some feedback, which we were very grateful for. It was a grand success, but we want to continue learning how we can make it better. So we have 5 criteria to address in the student builds. The first one is authenticity and accuracy, and that should be apparent in the builds that the students present. So in other words, you need to think about, where did your information come from? How is it authentic? If it's, for example, an historical build, it needs to accurately portray that historical time period. Authentic clothing, objects from the time period. Or let's say it's a scientific build. It needs to have accurate scientific language, and the concepts demonstrated with sources documented need to show accuracy and authenticity. Of course, this is just meant to be a guide. We're certainly not the costume cops. Whenever I help students with the Dickens project, for example, if someone is wearing something that's not exactly appropriate to that time period, it's a great opportunity for a teachable moment to talk about, those type of shoes weren't worn until the 20th century, that kind of thing. It's a great teaching experience, so we're not the costume cops. But it's great to address authenticity and accuracy. The second element or criteria here on the rubric is citing of sources, and this came up with some feedback from this last session. Citing sources means that you've shown where you got the information and you give credit where it's due. If virtual assets are purchased, give credit to the creator. Original work will be rated heavily, and this was a bit of a concern. People were a little confused whether everything had to be built from scratch with prims or some objects could be purchased. And purchasing of some objects is fine as long as there is a clear purpose for how it relates to the concept that is a serious simulation, and it can be modified for that concept. So original work will be rated heavily, and the majority of the experience should be built by students. If AI is used, and we mentioned this last time, and I'll zoom in here on the slide of the rubric. If AI is used, the purpose of using artificial intelligence must be clarified, and the instructors are responsible for clarification of how credit is given. Examples, you could have a note card with references. It could be at the close of the video presentation. We're requiring no specific format, for example, MLA or APA citations. That would be up to the instructor. Accessibility is the next criteria, and aesthetic appeal. And this shows that you have considered people with hearing loss or low vision in your build or your presentation. And as Marie said, we will have Gentle Heron address some accessibility issues and how to implement them in 3D. A well-designed build considers the colors and the textures. An example of that, we want eye-pleasing tones and no spinning neon signs. Some of us who are early adopters of Second Life can remember going to builds with huge flashing objects flying around. We want it to be eye-pleasing. Virtual worlds provide rich experiences for people with disabilities. While we do not expect the students to design the build primarily for those individuals, it's important to consider accessibility. So Gentle Heron will be a great resource for all of you over at Virtual Ability Island. So we've covered authenticity and accuracy, citing sources, accessibility and aesthetic appeal. The fourth criteria is interaction and immersion. And that means your audience can do something. They can click and interact with objects rather than just view slides. And the final criteria is the presentation. The presentation includes how you explain your content to your audience. The presentation should show the subject matter clearly using both voice and text. And as Ellie mentioned, we have examples from the fall student challenge to give examples of how to do a good presentation. A good pacing of information enhances the build. And you'll learn more about all of these concepts as we go along and how many individuals can help you with this, including the classes that are offered. And those are on our website, on our calendar, and right here at the Student Challenge in Second Life. So in the folder that I gave you, the VWEC Student Challenge note card folder, I'll walk back over. You can open that folder up and you'll find the landmarks to this particular instruction, the landing point and the instruction area where the classes will be held. Those are in the folder. We looked around in Second Life to find some exemplary builds that you could visit or share with your students so they could see the potential for building something in Second Life for serious simulations. So open up the note card within the folder, and I'm going to open up mine right here too so I can name some of these for you. And the folder is called VWEC SL Student Challenge Examples and Landmarks 2024. You'll see we included our models of teaching that we have here at the VWEC Edgeverse. We have Genome Island, Chinese Island, Peninsula College. We have a student build that a student did called the Reflection Pond. We have a cybersecurity build, Vertec Physical Security, data centers, Roca Sorrentina, Virtual Ability, the Abyss Observatory, which shows science and some underwater areas in Second Life. We also included our VWEC directories so that you can go in and search other particular topics and find good examples of serious simulations. We tried to choose some diverse simulations to show that a variety of subjects can embed a simulation and a variety of perspectives. So we don't want you to feel overwhelmed. And if you do, we have a panic button. I'll walk to it. You can see my avatar walking way back here behind where you're sitting. It's a red button back here. We call this the panic button, and you can click on it right back here. We have Builders Brewery mentors that are available to help with any building stumbling blocks that the students might encounter. And we are available on Discord. So I'll give you the Discord channel invitation. Using Discord is a good way to get a very quick response and help with student building. So there's the Discord channel. And as Marie said, you can always reach out to either Marie or Ellie or myself right here in Second Life with an instant message. Marie also mentioned the Robot Information Center right here that you can click on to get some of this information. So it's available in several places. You can look on our website. You can come right here and click on the resources here and use the folder that I gave you. So Marie, I'm going to hand the mic back to you.
Okay, so I wasn't doing a very good job of advancing the slides, but again, as Val said, we have the panic button and we have the Discord channel. We encourage everybody to use those for help, and really, that's the end of it. If you have questions, we're here to answer them. Otherwise, you guys, we can take a look around the island.